Okay, now seriously, this is just getting silly. There's no way! How could this possibly happen? The Super Mario Brothers movie came out to huge success, and you're telling me that despite a record-breaking first weekend, that it has once again shocked the nation, shocked the world, with a drop that is, shall we say, Top Gun Maverick-esque? Come on now. Come on. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. It's what we try to do each and every day here on the WDW Pro channel. This is also the same channel that was the first to tell you about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, the first to tell you that the Mario movie was a major threat to Disney, and now, well, we are seeing that happen. If you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you can stick it to the algorithms. When you click it, we're talking about that notification bell. Today's article comes to us from thatparkplace.com, where I am both a writer and an editor, and I want to thank all of you out there because this website has been growing like crazy. It was started more than a year ago, and then we had some issues with servers and some companies that maybe didn't want That Park Place to continue on, but we overcame, and since we have been able to get this thing going really well again, well, you all have supported it mightily, and I really do appreciate that. In fact, we're growing so fast that the article comes from a brand new writer, Amelia Iglesia is the author today, and this is her first day writing articles, and what an article to write. The Super Mario Brothers movie may just topple Frozen 2, and it gets better. Check this out. This came out after the article was published. The box office results for the Super Mario Brothers movie somehow improved just after publication. This from the Hollywood Reporter. The Nintendo video game adaptation grossed a massive $92.5 million from 4,300 plus theaters in its second weekend of play at the North American box office, notably more than expected and representing a drop of just 37%, according to final numbers released Monday. People, if you don't pay attention to box office stuff, a 37% drop when you have a huge first weekend. I mean, a 37% drop, no matter what. You have killed it. You have slayed the dragon if you manage to drop only 37%. Anybody would be happy with that. To do that off of a record-breaking weekend is, wow, that is incredible. So we are now in territory where, indeed, the Super Mario Brothers movie is doing things we've never seen before. Let's just put it out there. Let's just say it's happening. The Nintendo Cinematic Universe, I can't even imagine how fast they must be trying to work to get this thing going full speed and building a system to allow Nintendo and Illumination to work hand in hand with a bandwidth high enough to produce movies because, oh my gosh, like I said, we've never seen this before. Now, the article originally, it was bragging on it, but that was back when everybody assumed that we were going to have like a 45% drop. Now it's at 37%. It's amazing. But this article is talking about Frozen 2 versus the Super Mario Brothers movie because Frozen 2 was previously the top dog. It was at the top of the mountain. Frozen 2 was the animated film to beat in terms of gross revenues. And now it is looking more and more like not only will the Super Mario Brothers movie beat Frozen 2, but it may embarrass Disney. Let's dive into this. It's a fantastic analysis, once again, by Amelia Iglesia, brand new writer for That Park Place.
Floral, it's time for you to walk the plank.
What? Why?
Because you haven't subscribed to WDW Pro yet. Nor bookmark thatparkplace.com on your web browser to get great articles from great contributors.
What?
Frozen 2 and the Super Mario Brothers movie are two movies that have both made an impact in the film industry, but in very different ways. Frozen 2 was released in 2019. It's an animated musical adventure film produced by Disney. The Mario Brothers movie was released just weeks ago and is only musical insofar as Peaches has captured the world's attention. And yes, it has. It was the top of iTunes for a while. Oh my gosh. Jack Black singing about Peaches. Outside of Jack Black's Serenade, the film is based on the popular video game series, perhaps the most popular series on the planet. In this essay, I will compare the worldwide box office of these two movies, and that's where we're going to find some interesting stuff. You see, The Super Mario Brothers movie is doing this in spite of it not having the exact same benefits that Frozen 2 had, and those benefits may not be immediately obvious to you. Let's read. Frozen 2 was a major success in the box office, grossing a total of $1.45 billion worldwide. On its opening weekend, the movie grossed $358.4 million worldwide, breaking the record for the biggest opening weekend for an animated film. In its second weekend, the movie grossed $125 million, which is, and folks, this is what you need to pay attention to. This is why, if you did not realize how big Mario was before, you better get out those mushrooms. Okay, not those kind of mushrooms, but the Mario mushrooms. You better get those out, because this franchise in the second weekend just grew. Wow. I mean, I can't even get over this. Frozen 2 had a 65.1% drop from its opening weekend. That's common. It's a common trend for movies, as they tend to have a drop in box office performance after the opening weekend. On the other hand, this is so funny to me. The Super Mario Brothers movie was not as successful in the box office, grossing a jaw-dropping total of $370 million worldwide. We now know that the film held to an astonishing 45% drop. And I think that's what it's talking about, not being as successful. But guess what? 37% drop. A 37% drop puts it way ahead of Frozen 2. And this is just bonkers. Here's what you need to know. Here's what the media outside of this small orbit of my channel, Valiant Renegade, and others, this is what they're not telling you. Finally, we're getting back to that moment where we can go watch movies for fun, and everybody can go watch them. They don't have to be controversial. So is that where we're going, you think? Are we finally getting the reprieve we've been hoping for?
Not from Disney. In a sense, we have always had that reprieve. We've just had to look for it in smaller things, right? And what this is that this is another mainstream thing that's going to be accessible for all. And for that reason, I think it's going to be huge. All Nintendo has to do is to resist any kind of pressure, any kind of ESG money, to try to influence and incorporate the message, as long as they are able to just remain true to what they've always been. They're going to be fine, and they're going to conquer the world, because as it is, everyone else have self-destructed. So in a sense, they're the only ones left. I mean, you wouldn't think it would be possible for Disney to self-destruct the way that they had. I mean, Disney certainly didn't think so. They must have thought that we can do whatever we want with Star Wars, we can do whatever we want with Marvel, with Pixar, what have you, because the audience is going to be there no matter what. And they were wrong. That didn't happen. And just for treating the audience so shoddily, they deserve to fail. They deserve to be knocked off the pedestal, and for someone else to come and become the new number one. And then maybe Disney will then learn to become hungry again, to learn to make entertainment again. So this is like a natural adjustment in the market that I'm excited for. I just hope that Nintendo will be able to do what Disney weren't able to, which is not to be corrupted.
And so I reach out right now. If you are someone watching this video and you are part of the Nintendo decision-making process, or you're part of Illumination, let me just say, all we want is for you to make content that everybody can enjoy, or at least the largest demographic possible. I'm not asking you to make conservative cartoons. I'm not asking you to make liberal cartoons. I'm not asking you to make woke or not woke or anti-woke or anything in between. I just want something that people of all sides can go and say, now that was a fun movie. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. Listen to this. Great job by Amelia here. The Super Mario Brothers franchise is one of the most popular and recognizable video game franchises in history, with over 40 years of history. Okay, they tell you that. This is what they wouldn't tell you. The franchise has sold over 380 million units worldwide and has been the inspiration for countless other games, movies, merchandise. Suggests there's a major fan base. But here's what you need to know, folks. It should be noted that whereas Frozen had appeared in most of its major markets by the second weekend, the Super Mario Brothers movie still has not appeared in Japan or South Korea, where it is being held for the Golden Week. How about that? It's like their Thanksgiving week, okay? It's going to be huge. In addition to the popularity of the franchise, the movie has some strong talent behind it. Goes on to talk about that. Here's the major assist that Frozen 2 had that most people don't pay attention to. It isn't only that Frozen 2 is being beaten, though. We also have to remember that Frozen 2 overperformed, and probably due to a reason you haven't considered. Frozen 2 exceeded box office expectations by a significant margin, grossing $1.45 billion worldwide, which is more than double its predecessor's box office earnings. The movie was projected, though, to make around $100 million in its opening weekend in the United States, but it surpassed these estimates by earning $130.2 million. Okay, good job, Frozen 2, right? The film also broke the record for the biggest opening weekend for an animated film, surpassing the previous record held by Incredibles 2. The success of Frozen 2 can be attributed to several factors, including the popularity of the franchise and the strong marketing campaign. It was a massive success, grossing $1.27 billion worldwide. That's the original, but that campaign may have lifted Frozen 2 majorly. But here's what actually was a key factor. And it's Skywalker's Fall, Palpatine Unleashed. I love these titles. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker was the 9th and final installment in the Star Wars Skywalker saga, but it underperformed box office projections. Going up against Frozen 2, the film's tremendous downfall may have created a significant runway for other holiday, not Hollywood, come on, pro, speak, man. Runway for other holiday movies to see unexpected boosts in revenues. This was especially true given that families often make holiday movie attendance a beloved tradition. The movie was projected to make around $175 to $200 million in its opening weekend in the United States, but it nearly fell short of the low-end estimates by only earning $177.4 million. Although this was a strong opening for an average film, it was below expectations for a Star Wars movie, particularly as it was the conclusion of the Skywalker saga. Worse still, the drop for Episode 9 in subsequent weeks was impressively bad and opened the door for films like Frozen 2 to gain unexpected steam. It wasn't just Frozen 2 that benefited from J.J. Abrams' stinker. The Rise of Skywalker, some of you will get mad at me for saying that, The Rise of Palpatine was released in the same month as Jumanji: The Next Level, which should have never divided audiences' attention and box office earnings, yet somehow did, as families flocked away from Palpatine. So to clarify this, folks, what we're looking at is that Frozen 2 received an unexpected assist. It was projected to do well, but what happened was that as Star Wars collapsed and people no longer wanted to go watch The Rise of Palpatine, families, they wanted to go see the movies anyway, and they had a decision to make what movie we're going to go see. And so then this unexpected boost came to Frozen 2 because families started to decide we're going to go see Frozen 2 or we're going to go see Jumanji because, well, Rise of Palpatine absolutely cratered after the first 2 weeks. The article finishes with, can Mario beat Frozen 2? And this is another thing that's key. Again, you're not going to hear this anywhere else. Taking down Frozen 2 is going to be a tall order for the Super Mario Brothers movie. However, the film currently stands at $678 million globally. That's probably been lifted up now with these latest numbers. If we factor in a Japan and South Korea release, it's perhaps reasonable to assume they contribute $300 million in revenues. That could be slightly lower or even far greater, but let's use it as a baseline, given that Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, made more than $500 million in Japan alone. It seems to be a fair comparison. Well, if that happens, if Mario makes that kind of money, then by default, this thing's over $1 billion, and it only has $400 million and change to make. Given what we've seen out of the current hold, I don't see how that's not going to happen. And that means, folks, that outside of some sort of crazy collapse, Mario is on the way to achieving the high score of all animated films ever. And it's doing so by doing things that we have never seen done before. It's incredible. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you stick it to the algorithms when you click that notification bell. Drop a comment down below. We covet those comments. We care about what you think, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Make sure to catch The Pro Show Thursdays 5 to 7 Eastern Time. Entertainment Explained, The Culture Curve Conquered, live with Pro and all his friends.